super cheap, available everywhere, and requires no cooking. What is the best survival food that everyone ignores? Well, you have it right here. Guys, welcome to the channel, Modern Survivals. I'm talking about something you probably see 1,000 times. You've seen it all over the place. You probably eat it, but you just didn't think about it this way. What am I talking about? Well, dehydrated mashed potatoes. These dry potato flakes, well, that is one of the best survival foods you can have. Why? Well, a number of reasons. First of all, the price, usually super affordable, very cheap. I would suggest looking into the ingredients. Make sure it's just dehydrated potatoes. That's all you want. That's all you really need. And the more crap they add onto it, it's probably not even good for you, and it may end up messing with its expiration date. As it is, if it's just dehydrated potato flakes, these things last forever, especially if you keep it in a sealed, vacuum sealed bag. This thing is just dehydrated flakes that has nothing to go bad. It is also very easy to consume. Just add a little bit of water. Sure, ideally it would be warm, and ideally it would be going with a steak or something nice to eat. But on its own, potatoes have sustained entire civilizations, going from the Irish to the Incas in South America. You're looking at something that has, according to some of the literature out there, it has all the food that a human needs to be alive. Yeah, that's probably very questionable, but there's no doubt that it's certainly a very powerful staple if you manage to combine it with a few other things. You don't need a whole lot more. Potatoes on itself have all of the nutritional value to keep a human going. And it's been the case that people have been alive even for years just eating potatoes. I looked also into the difference between fresh potatoes and dehydrated potato flakes. Like these ones, it is very it's very tiny, almost insignificant nutritional difference between one and the other. What I'm going at here is it's still potatoes just without the water, and it really loses a small amount of nutritional value, not enough to make any significant difference. On the other hand, these things already in their own Mylar bag, so that's something I appreciate. You can throw this in a pack. You can keep this in your house. The nice thing is you probably eat it anyway. You know, with any other things that you have around, you probably eat mashed potatoes a number of days, every once in a while at least. But it's definitely one of the best staples you can have to stock up on. The way in which it holds over years, I've not only researched it, I actually tried it and tested it myself. I've had some of these, and it wasn't even one of these nicer Mylar bags. It was just an ordinary plastic bag that was just compressed and didn't have any air in it, but it wasn't vacuum sealed. That thing was over 2 years beyond the expiration date, which was already significant. There is no noticeable difference, even in the palate, even in the taste. You don't taste a difference, because as long as it's fully dehydrated potato flakes and nothing else, it just sustains very well. So if you think about the possibilities, if you think of, well, there's going to be only one thing, I'm only going to stock up on these things. Can you survive? Yes. How long? Very long time. That's not good enough. Give me a freaking number. Okay, you could probably go months until you start noticing a problem in terms of vitamin deficiency, minerals. Hell, maybe even before that. You don't have to reach that point. Why? Because I have a ton of these things, and I can just go and trade for whatever fruit, whatever can, whatever it is that I come across. You know, I have a couple of these, and I go, you know, here you have quite a bit of calories. You can just add water and eat this as it is. Whatever you have to trade, I'm listening. And you don't need a whole lot. You just need a few things so as to supplement this a little bit. If you're smart, you watch the channel, you follow the advice that I provide here. Maybe you even have my books, and you know that you want to have a well-balanced supply of food, which this only is not it. But as a core, if you're going now with $100 and just want to have a lot of calories to stock up on and just store in case something horrible happens, this is food in your belly. This is food that keeps you alive. Anything else you can add to it, that's fantastic. You don't die over a few weeks just because you have vitamin or mineral deficiency. That just does not happen. You die when you don't have food. This is food. And yes, it's not the only one. You have others. Rice, famously for keeping entire civilizations alive as well. It's foundation of most of the Asian cultures revolves around a ton of rice and something else that you add. Rice with sauce, rice with a little bit of fish, rice with a little bit of meat, but it's mostly bowl of rice with something else that they add for taste. This kind of works in the same way. Maybe not as cool as rice, maybe not as fun. It's more of a mash white thing, but it's still food. You're looking at survival, not getting fancy. My advice is have a variety, but this is really a great way to go, especially because, again, you consume these things. Could it be pasta? I love pasta. I think it's very good too. So pasta would also be here. But keep in mind, pasta is not nearly as easy to just consume like this with water. Pasta will require quite a bit more cooking. You will need a proper way of preparing it, especially if you're short in fuel. If you don't have any way of cooking, this is even simpler. But yeah, pasta should be part of your stockpile of food as well. I would suggest limiting the fancy survival food, stuff like this, right? These rations, 20-year shelf life. These are nice, but they're nice for kids, not as a stockpile food that you just amass a ton of. And besides that, when is it that you're going to be eating this? This you can throw there with beans and something else for the kids and whatnot, some meat or whatever you want, some hot dogs. Anyway, you have mashed potatoes with a number of other things. It's going to be part of the things you eat regularly. This is not it. Because of that, I think it has a special place that you should consider. Guys, if you want to learn more about all this stuff, I recommend you follow the channel, subscribe if you appreciate the content, and you have my books and the links there below. Take care. See you next time.